I wonder, do you ever stop to think about anyone but yourself, or is it just your dick? Has it ever crossed your mind that maybe this is a mistake? That maybe your advances are making me uncomfortable or crawl out of my skin? You look like the type, though, not to assume, that would likely not give a shit about much other than you. Now, while I'm on the train by the name of presumption, I may as well ride it straight to Stereotype Station. Pull up to and step onto the surface of the platform of judge a book by its fucking cover. Because sometimes people truly are just the sum of their face value, denoted and deceitful, hiding behind a depth they fail to pursue. So I see you with your shiny shoes that scream, "Look at me," when you walk down the street, steps echoing loudly and pretentiously. Yes, pretentious and ostentatious, because those shoes gleam of I'm better than everyone else. I belong on a pedestal. I'm top shelf. Your cologne reeks of privilege and bought freedoms because people like you never have consequences to your actions. You just distract and deflect any reprimands or judgments by tossing money in the required directions. Your briefcase oozes of self-importance and hoarsely whispers arrogance, even though it holds anything but riches, just documents, or one-sided bullshit legalities that govern women's bodies, or seal fates of the less fortunate, binding them to hefty debts. Because you fight for a system that helps the rich and routinely fucks the poor without dinner or holding open the door. To you, chivalry is just as dead as the animal that sits atop your head. Your coat is woven with gender inequality and stitched together with the wage gap by fingers that are tiny. Your smug look tells a tale of ignorance to the plight of many, and this is what doesn't sit well with me. I saw the look on your face as you walked by the elderly woman begging on the corner. I felt the disregard and disdain present in the toxic venom you spat at her. Get a fucking job. Be better. You didn't see the hurt that I did see, written in the tear that streaked down her cheek. You didn't see the hug and kind words that I used to comfort her, in order to attempt to undo the damage that you just did deliver. You failed to see me in the crowd as you passed by that rally, scoffing and spewing hate at the feminists and people of all genders that stood in unity. You didn't see me as I stood smoking as I awaited my connecting bus, when you patronized that young mother for having her child in a stroller and not walking like us. You didn't take the time, you didn't have the decency to reach beyond your perception and show a shred of humility. You couldn't show kindness. You only know selfishness. Though monetary wealth lines your silken pockets, I'm concerned about your soul and your conscience. Or is it clear? Knowing that you didn't take the time to hear why that elderly woman on the corner was begging? Because the pension she worked hard for wasn't enough and her body is crippled and aching? Or the reason for the combined efforts of the people at that rally were because people like you don't seem to think about the importance of wage or gender equality? Or that young mother at the bus stop who had her child in the stroller takes her son monthly to the hospital for procedures to make his legs stronger? No. Maybe your conscience is clear, because you failed to see what I saw, nor hear what I hear. So when you approached me at that bar expecting to receive my number, I promptly explained that you should go try another. I noticed immediately that this ruffled your feathers because guys like you feel that you could have your pick of the fucking litter. You bought me a drink and you came back over malicious and confidently, but you didn't see that I noticed you slipping in that roofie, and wasn't aware that this one polished finger was for no other reason than being my very own rapist culture protector. I held your drink and sneaked in my polished finger and started a conversation where I told you exactly who you are, what I witnessed, and you accused me of manipulation. Your fragile male ego must be so hurt, bruised by the truth, that you were conditioned by a society that has bred people just like you. You tried to make an advance, but this is my spot and I know the bouncer. So I handed over my drink and explained all that I discovered. You were bound in cuffs that night and hauled away by lights and a siren. But unfortunately, that's not always how stories like this are written. Bad things happen to good people too many times to count. That's why we must unite, bringing the injustices to the ground. We must speak up, we must speak out, and bring the required change we continuously speak about. Thank you.